This is Creative Living with Bren Haas, the podcast where creative minds meet to connect, share, and grow. Here's Bren.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to connect with you all today. Welcome to another episode. I'm the host, Bren Haas, and today we are talking year-round growing anywhere for sure. If you are on Twitter, one of the leading social media sites and my personal favorite place to connect quick with folks, I am sure you've seen the creative designs by LED Habitats. Today, I got to talk to Hedi, who is the co-founder, the co-owner, and the lead gardener over at LED Habitats. She shared with me some really creative information about the product and this great discount. So LED Habitat is offering a great deal just for you, my listeners and readers. Now through the end of January 2017, you can receive $25 off the products there at ledhabitats.com. All you have to do is put Bren Haas 25 in the promo code there to get your $25 off. And here we go. Here is my interview with Hedi of LED Habitats.
Hi, Bren. I'm doing well. Thank you.
We're all freezing. We're just, before we went live here, I'm freezing. You're not. You're out in Colorado right now, right?
Right now I'm in Colorado. My husband is still in Madison right now, and I'll be back there in a day or so. And I heard it was minus 40 yesterday, wind chill. So I understand freezing.
Whoa, and I thought we're in Ohio here. We're at -1, and it was -4 when I woke up. I thought that was bad, but holy cow, wind chill, -40. Ah!
Maybe he was just telling me that to make me feel bad about how nice it was in Colorado.
Oh, because it's just so beautiful. Both states are beautiful. I love it. And I think both of us, you and I think we're just so happy about everything. Even this cold, we're like laughing about it. But I think that, just my own personal experience, I think it's because we still have green plants. We've learned things so we can continue growing. And I really think that makes you just a happier person. Would you agree?
Yeah. I totally agree. And I am very much a solar kind of a person. Like, I need the sunlight to re-energize me.
Totally.
And actually, one of the things that really helps me make it through the winter in Wisconsin is growing indoors and having a good, like, full spectrum light source in my house that makes me think of the sun. Because although I love the topsoil in the Midwest, one thing about Wisconsin is that it stays gray a lot through the winter, and days are really short. And I actually have maybe just a touch of that seasonal affective disorder. I need like light.
Yeah, no, totally. So, well, I'm excited to talk to you finally on the phone. I know you from social media. I love that you are so active on Twitter. I'm a Twitter girl. I know you're on Facebook too, but I love seeing all the really cool things that you're growing in these the product that we're going to talk about today. But first I want, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Did you grow up gardening?
I grew up with just the kind of garden around the house that my mom kept, a few little things. But I started indoor gardening really young. I did an experiment with impatiens plants when I was in elementary school, looking at the effects of talking to plants. And I think I was hooked from that point on, both on the kind of science side of trying to understand more about plants. I definitely have that kind of science slant, and then just in that relationship that you develop when you grow plants, I was hooked.
That's so cool.
So I didn't, I was in Colorado, where when we tried to grow a garden, and actually on the land that is my family's place where I am right this minute, we had minimal topsoil and no water, and my dad, bless his heart, tried to have a garden, but we never got anything other than maybe thumb-sized potatoes,
Right. Right.
Eventually, I ended up through a circuitous path in Wisconsin, and I was really interested in gardening and did a lot of research on my own with Johnny's Select Seeds help and other people. And I actually ran a wholesale organic kind of a mini truck farm for
Cool.
about 5 years. Yeah, it was really cool. I learned so much, and there's nothing like the Midwest for being able to really grow stuff. And I was really into pushing the seasons on both ends, spring and fall. But I kind of found that I lost the fun of gardening when I had to do it for a living. It was too many green beans to pick and too much.
Right?
Yeah. So I went, at that point, I decided with some encouragement from my brother to go back to school and get a degree to teach science and take my love of nature and the plants into the classroom. So I got degrees in biology and earth science and taught high school science for a while, and ended up meeting my husband, Dan, who is also a plant lover and had been working at UW-Madison for a long time with a program that promotes getting plants into classrooms and helping students learn about plants. And so that's how I ended up getting connected more thoroughly to UW-Madison, and I went back and got my PhD and had the good fortune of getting a chance to work with Rick Amasino, who's a biochemist who studies flowering, what triggers flowering in plants, and a plant pathology, Paul Williams, who has done a lot of really interesting things working with NASA and others about growing plants. So my love of plants has gone through many different paths along the way.
That is so cool. You're inspired with some very awesome people. Especially so you're learning about the light and how light's important. I mean, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of how I ended up really interested in light and the effects of light on plants came about because of when I got connected to this program that's working with schools around the world, actually, to get plants indoors and in classrooms. Then getting good light is a critical factor, especially a lot of classrooms are fairly dark. And the particular brassica that we're working with, it's called Wisconsin Fast Plants. It grows super fast, but in order to be able to do that, it goes to flower in just 2 weeks.
Wow.
But it has to have 24-hour light and really high quality light. So we got really involved in looking at all kinds of different systems for teachers to use in classrooms and also for researchers to use who are using this real fast-growing brassica. And when LEDs came out, at first, Orbitech, a company in Wisconsin that worked real closely with UW-Madison, was looking at LEDs, but there was a kind of a disconnect between horticultural use of LEDs and other use of LEDs until they came up with the discovery of how to produce blue light, because plants need a combination of red and blue to grow and to reproduce. And I believe the rest of the spectrum too, but red and blue are definitely critical. So it was a real breakthrough when blue LEDs came out. And at that point, we started doing some research experiments at UW-Madison with LEDs to see if we could shift over to them, because they're so energy efficient and so such great intensity. And then you don't have the heat, so you can get your plants really close to the light.
Right.
And that's how, through doing that, we kept looking for LEDs that we could buy that would really satisfy what we needed, but a lot of lower quality LEDs drop off on quality and intensity if you use them. And I don't know, we could not find anything that really suited our needs. And So my brother who's off the grid in New Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
introduced me to this guy who he was friends with, who had done a lot with LEDs, and turned out it's Klaus is his name, and Klaus is a German cabinet maker by trade,
Yeah.
and he'd done a lot of work with LEDs because back when they were super expensive, people who were doing custom kitchens didn't care and put them in their kitchens. So he helped us with the spectrum that we knew that we needed for plants to grow well and also to look good,
Mm-hmm.
with the engineering that we needed to be able to put that into a really solid LED array. And then while he was at it, he developed this really cool wooden stand that makes it super easy to raise and lower the light. So it was
Yeah.
just kind of like this magical synergy of Klaus and Dan and myself that led us to this cool light.
I love it. And so what you're talking about, our audience can actually take a look at. You have a website. It's ledhabitats.com, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Very cool. And well, I know you mostly because Twitter. If people out there, if you're a Twitter user, you can definitely tweet out to Heidi. It's very simple at LED Habitats. You got some great photos on there right now. I'm seeing you've got edibles growing. You've got house plants, really cool house plants that you could not normally grow in a little area of your living room that would not have lights. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, it's so great to, have the ability to play around with different things that you might like to grow and not feel
Mm-hmm.
limited just because maybe you don't have great window exposure or, insufficient for full sun plants anyway. It really
I love
opens
it.
up the door for a lot of different things you can do to
Love
have a
it.
really good light source. Yeah.
And it's
Fun.
it's attractive. It's a cute that wood. Are you saying this German cabinet maker helped you with that design? Is that what that was?
Yeah, so
Awesome.
the zigzag pattern that you see on the side is
Mm-hmm.
just this very simple but beautiful
Yeah.
design that makes it so that you can raise and lower the dome that houses our LED
Yeah.
array. And,
Nice.
it's totally his design. That and the nice arch
Yeah.
of the handle, which makes it so you can actually like pick it up and move it
Yeah.
somewhere. So there's a couple different sizes. The one is kind of our starting point was the smaller LED habitat,
Mm-hmm.
which is really, it's pretty portable
Yeah.
actually. And a number of the people who tested it for us when we were doing prototyping took them into assisted living facilities so that their parents could grow something and nurture something, and they had something cool to talk about, and it made it so that it was very easy for them to be able to, put it where it could be more accessible,
Yeah.
and then we grew it into the larger size, the Habitat Pro, also because we had a lot of interest ourselves and others in having a little bit more room to grow more
Sure.
stuff or taller things.
Sure. I love that. I'm thinking, well, what I like, because I have, my family and I love to cook. And my daughter, she's totally into organic. And, this looks like a cool unit you could put in your kitchen or your dining room. Heck, you can even put this on your dining room table. It's pretty. It's attractive.
Right.
And then
No.
yeah, and then if we have access to so many different plants now with seeds you can order so easy, and you can actually grow them with this easily and attractive and organic or however you want to do it. I love it. This is exciting.
Well, the cool thing about being able to grow from, like you're saying, to be able to grow from seed
Mm-hmm.
right in your kitchen or right in your living room or whatever, is that that kind of thing, the plants are going to thrive best if you have regular interaction with them and you're monitoring whether they're, need water or whatever, and need to be thinned. That constant interaction is something that we work to try and promote because there's really good solid research that interacting with plants elevates your mood and it's good and healthy for you, and it also is good for the plants. But if you have an ugly shop light or something, you know, it's going to be
Yeah.
hidden in the garage or the basement.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have this ability to have something that's beautiful and showcases your love of plants right
Yeah.
in your living space where you can interact with them regularly. And you're right, like microgreens or herbs that you're using regularly or
Yeah.
whatever, you're more likely to use them if they're just right there and you're seeing them as you have your morning cup of coffee or whatever.
Definitely. And I love it too when people come to visit or have, you know, enjoy a meal. They're inspired by that. They're like, oh, wow, you could do this. I had no idea. So that's really, I love this. This is so cool.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's like why we decided to actually turn this into a business, was that we had the LED habitats, the prototypes, up on a counter in my kitchen while we were testing different different aspects of the system for quite a while. We did the testing for a year before we went live, and everyone who walked into the house and saw them said, "Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Where do I get one?"
Right?
Came to think, oh, well, because we were thinking originally we were primarily developing it as something that we could get into classrooms.
Yeah.
But then we realized, wow, this is actually really great for anyone.
Yeah, totally. Very exciting. And this is great. And it's easy for anybody to check out and get. You can have them delivered right to your house, basically, right? I mean, you've got your shop right there on the ledhabitats.com website. And yeah, no, I love this. So, yeah.
And they're all I would just add that we really made a strong commitment both to having the highest quality materials in there. So we're using LED chips and a very high performance, high tech LED array that will last and last and last. It dissipates the heat without any fans, so they're quiet.
Nice.
And they're sustainably harvested wood, and we're making them 100% manufactured in the USA. Even the custom trays that we made were pressing in Montana. So, you know, it's a combination of a commitment to the plants and a commitment to, you know, having manufacture here in the USA and where we can really know what the quality is.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because you've got it all on your website. The Explore, that caught my eye, just because that's important. I do have a very nice set of LED lights, and it can be complicated, especially if they're, you know, they don't have it on their website, and then I have to search for it, and then I end up on sites I really don't want to see. So, I mean, that's what's cool about you. You know, there's some crazy light stuff going on out there right now, but but this is like totally doable. You know, everything is listed on your page. You even have videos here. And then the really cool thing is you're on social media. We can reach out to you on Twitter and Facebook. I love it. This is so exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what other people do and share with their, you know, with their LED habitat too, because I think it opens up a lot of possibilities I probably haven't even thought of, you know.
Sure. And that's the cool thing. So if our listeners are listening today and you're interested or you just want to ask questions, you can definitely reach out to Hedi. Okay, Hedi, tell us what's the best place to find you guys?
So actually, my name is Hedi.
I'm sorry.
I answered. No problem. I get Heidi a lot because your eye puts the I in there. That's okay. The best way to reach us is really through Twitter or online, because we are kind of moving about all the time right now. We're in between Colorado and Madison, my husband, and then Klaus is in New Mexico, where he's actually overseeing the manufacture of the habitats. So the best way to reach us is really by either email or Twitter or Facebook.
Perfect.
The other thing is, if you're in the Midwest, we are going to be at the Madison Garden Expo in February. And then we're going back to the Chicago Flower and Garden Show in March, which is if you're in the area and you've never gone to that, you should go. It's a really neat event.
Awesome. That is a great show. Thank you so much for connecting with me today and sharing with me about this. I'm excited. This is fun. I can't wait to tell everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us a chance to share.
Thank you for listening in today. I hope you all will please check out LED Habitats. And of course, don't forget the great discount you can get there. You can get your $25 off any order now through February 1st, 2017. And of course, always click over to my website at brenhaas.com. Haas, kind of like the avocado, only spelled different, HAAS.com, where you will find links and images and all the information that was shared today on this presentation, and also other ways that you can connect with more creative people. Thank you again for joining me on Creative Living with Bren Haas.